All right. Well, hello and happy Monday, everybody. Monday. Can't trust that day. Well, you're going to have to trust that day today because you got to vote today. Yeah. Today is a busy day, and voting, well, I don't have to tell you. I mean, you know that it's important to vote, right? Like, you do know that. The problem is, and I did a show earlier today with my friend Stephen Haley from the United Kingdom. They're going through some really incredible things over there in the United Kingdom, known as Brexit. Do you follow politics? I guess that's the first question. Do you even follow politics at all? And I know that's an ongoing, should we vote? Well, of course we should vote. People gave us the right to vote a long time ago. The problem I do think is, and probably partly because of social media, it's confusing, right? It can be very taskful. Taskful? Is that the right word? It can be a huge task to do your research and try to figure out which way you're going to go. I had a conversation last night. I was out and talked to some younger folks. They were about the age of 22. And then somebody else was there about age 35. And then there's me at 50. The conversations coming from the three different generations in that category were really interesting. The perspectives change a lot. And I guess depending on how old you are, depends on what you're looking for. If you have children or you don't have children, depends what you're looking for. So I don't know all the answers, of course. I follow enough along that I think I educate myself to make a decision. But like many people, I'm struggling. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do because I haven't voted yet today, but I will. And at the end of the day, I'll make my check mark and hopefully comes out with good results, I guess. Only time will tell, right? So I hope you're going to take the time to vote. It'll be interesting to see. I'll be following a little bit later on tonight. I'll be on my Twitch channel later tonight. Have you ever heard of Twitch? It's not just for video games. Twitch.tv/David Burrows. I'll be on there, and I'll have some people on there that will be talking about the election and following along the results and everything. And then, of course, they'll be all over the news and stuff. So anyway, not a political show, but get out, do your part, and vote. And if you don't know who to vote for, there is a website. Simply Google Canadian political party policies. And I was on, I believe it was CBC earlier today, and they go right through every category from housing and transportation and healthcare and all the different important things, carbon tax. And it tells you exactly what each party is looking to do. Promises, and they're not always kept, right? I think that's the scary part of it all. But take the time, do some reading, do your part, and vote. All right. Ronnie Fraser's out there. Hey, Ronnie, nice to have you back here again. Appreciate you joining me here every week. You're usually here every week, and that does help out a lot. Appreciate that. There's something else I wanted to tell everybody, but I lost track. Okay, so we'll just move on, right? Let's do that. Sarnia Sting fans. Boy, oh boy. Sarnia Sting doing pretty good right now. Oh, Danny. Hey, Danny Cacciamilio joining us, said he's voted already. Good stuff, Danny. We'll talk to you a little more about that maybe a little later on. But right now we're going to talk about the Sarnia Sting. It is more than a game, and it has been way more than a game for them recently. Then we're going to go to the Oswald's Diner and Active Years Hearing Center here in Sarnia. Sarnia Sting recap. Boy, that's a mouthful to say. 21 goals in the last 3 games. Yesterday, their home game, they would come out to win 7-4. Yes, 7-4. One that was really, really noticeable, or notable, I should say, winning against the Oshawa Generals. The Oshawa Generals, the number 1 team in the entire CHL. Yes, they beat them 9-5. Wow, that was pretty awesome. And the Barrie Colts, who they lost to when they hosted them down here, of course, and then they went on to beat them 5-1, and that would give Ethan Langevin 49 saves in that. Or no, sorry, not Ethan. Benjamin Gaudreau pardon me. Ethan previously had 40 saves. And then Benjamin Gaudreau came out there and did 49 saves against the Barrie Colts. And I was talking with Ethan Langevin and Benjamin, and wondered if there's maybe a little bit of friendly competition there between the goalies. And we'll see. That's not a bad thing, right? To have some inter-competition between the players. So congratulations to the Sarnia Sting. The Flint Firebirds will be coming here at their next home game on November 1st. But after yesterday's win of 7-4 against Kingston, we were able to catch up with Ryan Roth, formerly of the Sioux Greyhounds, and he gave us a few of his comments after the games. We're going to go right now and take a look at that. Stay with us.
Ryan Roth, goal and an assist tonight. What a turn of events from this time last week. Obviously, you guys are on the upswing here and feeling a lot better about things.
Yeah, it was definitely a great week for the boys. I know we were all excited to get those 3 wins, especially taking down an undefeated team, number 1 team in CHL. So really successful week for the boys.
21 goals in the last 3 games over the weekend here. Obviously, you guys are feeling pretty confident scoring goals right now.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of guys who can put the puck in the net, and it's really starting to show.
How important was it you get Jamison Reese, Ben Gaudreau makes his first start the other night back in the lineup, and obviously tonight Ryan McGregor, your captain, comes back in the lineup. How much of a boost was that for you?
Yeah, all 3 of them are just unbelievable players. Benny made 49 saves in his debut, and Greg's comes back, goal and an assist. JR's got, I think, 8 points or something like that in 3 games. They're all unbelievable players, so it's really good to have them back.
It's good to have momentum again, obviously, and a little more smiling faces, but you're still going to have to show it again when you fall and go down and see Kingston once again. You look at the shot clock up there. Obviously, come out on top. The quality shots were there, but is that something you think that needs to be worked on?
Yeah, I think we need to give up, fewer shots, obviously, but I also think we need to throw more pucks at the net. We were kind of holding on to them for a little bit too long. But, we still did score 7 goals, or 7, I think. 7 goals. 7 goals, so I think that's pretty good.
You won.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What's it like for you kind of fitting in with a new team now, too?
It's been great. The guys have been welcoming me. It's been really good so far. I've had a lot of fun.
How's your role now compared to what it was up in the Sioux?
It's similar. I'm just, I'm in a more environment that I want to be in. It's been great. Coaching staff has been good to me, so it's been great so far.
What's the environment you want to be in?
Just it's more of like a happy mood around the rink. Even when we're 0-7, guys are still trying to pick each other up, kind of thing. It's now next thing you know, we got 3 straight wins, beat the number 1 team, so it's been good.
I remember you had said in the preseason, want to be a go-to guy this year.
Yeah,
obviously that was a great house. Now you get to do it for the Sting.
Yeah, it's been great. I like scoring goals, and I'm proud to be doing it as a member of the Sarnia Sting.
There you go, Ryan Roth. I've always got to remember to turn my microphone back on. Ryan Roth talking to us from the Sarnia Sting after a strong win over the Kingston Frontenacs, 7-4. And again, 3 in a row for them right now. Will they make it 4? They'll be headed on the road back to Peterborough, and then they will also take on Kingston once again, and then they'll return back here against the Flint Firebirds. We'll hope you'll join us for that. And coming up soon, it'll be interesting. Ryan Roth, formerly, of course, of the Sioux Greyhounds. Be interesting to see him play against his old team. And my friend Danny Cucciamilio will join me for that game. I've got you on the calendar for that, Danny, so I hope you've marked that down too. So go Sting, go, and thanks to our friends at Oswald's Diner and Active Ears Hearing Center for bringing you this Sarnia Sting recap. Something else I wanted to bring to your attention. I had him on here last week. Of course, last week being Thanksgiving, we just had one guest, but he was an incredible guest, James Wallen, who has put together this documentary called Gridiron Underground. And we're just going to give you a preview of that. It's coming up this Wednesday here at the Sarnia Library Theater. Take a look at this.
I remember when I was working out one time for the New York Giants, and the first statement that came to me was like, "Man, you'd make a great free safety." I kind of looked at him and said, "Free safety?
nobody else was giving me that opportunity. No other team in the National Football League, no other city.
And I said, I feel I'm a quarterback and can play it if given the opportunity. He said, well, I'm sorry to say, Bernie, that that opportunity will not present itself here in Cleveland. But there are teams in Canada, and if you want to go there, you'll be given the opportunity to play quarterback in Hamilton.
Texas, running as the ball in the latter part of the season.
Dynamite Johnny Rice explodes into the end zone. Really a gain over the middle. Let's get to Tony Gabriel. Now he's down.
One of the great experiences in sport, Don, is witnessing greatness.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, I'm back. Thank you very much, Danny. I was just going to say, come on down to the Moose Lodge there on Friday, doing some karaoke. And I do it once a month there. It's always the fourth Friday of the month. And we have a lot of fun down there. It's they got a cash bar there, very reasonably priced down there. And they've always got some great food specials on there. And yeah, we have a good time. We've been doing it we're close to a year now, actually. So we're looking forward to getting back there once a month. Good times. And we'll get you out early, get you started. I don't know, maybe Danny will sing. Danny, do you sing? I'd like to see that. What are we saying out there? Yes, thank you very much. I was muted. I bad habit of that. And Jake Churchky says, can't wait. So you're talking about the wrestling, I'm guessing, right? Okay. And what else we got there? All right, everybody. Yes, okay. So you can hear me now. That's very good. When I work alone, right? So I can't do everything. I don't always have my son Jason here looking after stuff. Yeah. So once again, come on down to the Moose Lodge this Friday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll hope to come out and join us. And also, if you like to laugh, who doesn't like to laugh? Like you're laughing at me when I had no sound, right? Coming up this Friday and Saturday, it is the Wicked Laughs Comedy Festival. Yes, that's right. The Wicked Laughs Comedy Festival. And get your tickets. It's going to be down also at the Sarnia Library Theater and promises to be a hilarious, fun weekend, right? Who doesn't like to laugh? The Wicked Laughs Comedy Festival, again, happening this weekend at the Sarnia Library Theater. And, of course, things are getting spooky. I need to get something I could have an echo on there. Maybe I could play some funny, scary noises. But Halloween is coming, and Halloween is coming to Village Gardens. I don't know. Is that a bad impression? What was that guy's name that used to do all the Vincent Price? Yeah, Vincent Price. He was a scary fellow. But anyway, it's going to be scary down at Village Gardens on Halloween. And Beer Store Money, local band. If you have not seen Beer Store Money, let me tell you, they are amazing. And I'm not just saying that. And they're really nice people. They have a lot of fun. They're amazing music. So if you're looking for somewhere to go and you want to have some fun and great music, go down to Village Gardens on Halloween for a spooky fun night with Beer Store Money. In fact, Beer Store Money, I like them so much, they're going to be here next week to join me on the show. So I hope you'll come back and join me for that as well. Beer Store Money, once again, coming to Village Gardens. All right, well, I'm just going to take a short break, check in with one of my guests to make sure they're ready, and I will be back to talk to you in just a moment. Stay with me. All right, we're back. Sorry for the delay there, folks. Technical world, right? And but we're ready to move on. We're going to have our regular update with our friend Dave Brown from the United Way of Sarnia-Lambton, and he'll be here in just a moment. And poof, just like that. Hello, Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon. How are you, David?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks so much for coming on a little bit early there.
My pleasure.
Well, you've got lots to talk about for the United Way. You always do, but it's just been in the last couple of weeks, really, you've been extra busy. You just had your luncheon recently, right?
Yeah. Sorry, Dave, I'm getting a delay there. Are
you there?
I am, but I'm hearing a delay as well.
Oh, like an echo?
Yeah, I'm hearing you talk live, and then I'm also hearing something about 10 or 15 seconds later.
Oh, close your Facebook page.
Oh, okay. There we go. How's that?
Perfect. In the shoe.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, we're the campaign's well underway. We're on week 7. Overall, it's a 16-week campaign, so we're approaching the halfway mark. And dollar-wise, we're at $840,000. Which is about 43.5% towards our $1.9 million needs target.
Yeah. And did you say you're further ahead?
Well, we were in good shape, but the last week or so, we're starting to fall back a little bit. It could be today's election day, so maybe we'll get the election out of the way and a few other things. But yeah, we're starting to tread a little bit. So we got lots of time. We're not panicking. We got lots of time. All the campaigns are still running. So we're just monitoring carefully the situation.
Yeah. Okay. Now you just had a luncheon recently as well, right?
Well, we've had a lot of luncheons, but we most recently had our locally Lambton dinner, which was on Saturday night. Hosted and sponsored by Libro Credit Union, and they have 3 branches in Sarnia and Lambton County. Also, the Lambton Federation of Agriculture is also a sponsor, and Lambton College. What your viewers would be interested to know that all of the food on the buffet is locally raised or grown or produced and is cooked expertly by Lambton College students and under the watchful eye of Chef Alistair Mackay and Michael. Can't remember Michael's last name.
Okay.
And it was a complete sellout. We're very grateful for all the people who donated food for all the events. I mean, we District 1 Sheep donated over $300 worth of lamb. The Lambton Cattlemen donated all the roast beef. Bill Sipkins from Wheelan Meats donated a lot of the turkey and the bacon and whatnot. And we had many local businesses donate the auction prizes for both the live and the silent auction. Overall, we netted about $12,000 from Saturday night. So we're extremely grateful for that. Mm-hmm.
That's great community support, which is, well, there you go. Sarnia Lambton, right?
Exactly.
And you guys, did you have a presence at the Sting game yesterday too? Is that right?
Yes, Nova. It was Nova's night, and for the last couple of years, they've kind of dedicated the Nova night to United Way. So they had many volunteers out selling the pucks for the Puck-a-Chuck or Chuck-a-Puck, and raised other awareness for us and other bits of money. And of course, Nova's a huge sponsor of the United Way in general, as are the employees and the retirees.
Yeah, and I noticed too, like I've seen you out in the community a lot doing barbecues as well. I forget, I saw some pictures. I forget where it was, but that seems to be a lot of companies really coming together to say, you know what, we could do this, but why don't you come do this? And
companies, and it's not just companies. Local businesses will have a barbecue occasionally for us out in front of their place of business. A lot of the public service, the Department of Fisheries and Oceans, Canada Coast Guard, Transport Canada has a barbecue. Of course, Canada Border Services has a great United Way campaign. So it's not, I mean, most of the companies do, but there's a lot of businesses and other workplaces that do also. I know the Lambton Elderly Outreach, for example, held a Thanksgiving turkey dinner for us the Friday before things. Raised $500 out at Reese's Corners. I know the VON, which we fund a number of their agencies, is hosting a Boston Pizza fundraiser tonight from 5 until 7. The cost, I think, is $22 for all you can eat Boston pizza, and pasta. So come on down and support them and support us. So, yeah, David, there's a lot for the foodie.
You guys like food.
It's, foodies bring in cash. I can't argue that point.
No, that's right. Well, I know the community support, and I've always said it in Sarnia Lambton, has always been very significant.
Right.
But let's talk about the campaign a little bit more. I know you decided to take a little bit of a different approach as far as we're not setting a goal, we're setting a needs target. Correct.
We missed our goal last year. We missed it by just $31,000. The goal was $2 million, and we raised $1,969,000. Very close, but we were so grateful. When I looked at, and to your earlier point, when I look at what other United Ways did across the province and across the country, we did amazing. So we were so grateful for that. But election years, David, are always a challenge. You're competing against media attention. And, of course, we very much appreciate the attention you give us with the show. But you're also competing against volunteers going canvassing door to door and other fundraising initiatives. But we also knew there were other activities going on this year as well. So we knew it would be an extra challenging year this year. So the board said, okay, what's the minimum that we need for our 18 agencies, 36 programs and services? And the figure we come up with was 1.9. So the board said, okay, well, let's set up a needs target. We won't talk about a goal. We eliminate the word goal from our vocabulary. And we want to focus everybody's attention on what is it that we need. And we need 1.9 million to continue to fund those agencies.
Yeah, well, and it seems like you're on track. When's the campaign end?
Campaign ends at the end of the year. So there's still lots of time left. It's a 16-week campaign, and we're just starting the 7th week. So, we're just past 40%. So when you compare the time with the percentage, which is 43.5%, we're on target that way. You usually like to start off with a bang and be ahead of that curve, which we were. But it's just the last week we noticed it's starting to slow down. It could be related to the fact that not only the election, but last week was a short week with Thanksgiving on Monday. Again, we're not panicking, but it's something we're taking note of, and we're just making sure that everybody gets the opportunity to give while they still can. And that's an interesting point. Although the campaign runs until the end of the year, Shell employees and retirees only have until October 31st to have their donations matched. Now, we of course will accept their donations anytime, but to get that corporate match, it has to be into the office by October 31st. Other matching companies usually have until towards the end of November.
Right. Okay. And it's interesting you talk about, an election year is always interesting for you guys, but how it affects you, because United Way does not get any government support.
No, not at all.
So, and yet that election still affects you. You think they should give you something just for interfering with what you're trying to do?
Well, I guess they'll argue they offer a tax credit for your donations. So there's that. And that is very helpful too. So, it's funny. A lot of people will donate at the very end of the year to take advantage of that tax credit. So they'll donate the last week in December and then get a tax receipt or a receipt for tax credit purposes that they'll use a month or two later.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the election years are, we could get a front page story that ends up being page 3. And it's top of mind. People aren't talking about the United Way. They're talking about who they're going to vote for, or what are the issues, or, what's going to happen. So it's nice being top of mind. So maybe, again, after the election's over, let the dust settle, and maybe more people will start to focus again on the United Way and what that need is.
Right. Can I ask, I don't know if I've ever asked you this question, but is there a reason that the government doesn't support the United Way?
Well, we don't provide direct services. Some United Ways do provide direct services. We don't. In our community, our board has taken the approach that people support the United Way because of that list of 18 agencies. because of all those programs and services. And so as a result, we felt to be as transparent as possible. We wouldn't provide any direct services at all. You can imagine some United Ways that offer direct services will fund their own programs, and then what's left fund other agencies. We wanted to be in a position that every extra dollar we raise or every dollar beyond campaign and admin costs flows out to the agencies. I really believe that's what the agency, that what donors want, is for us to give as much money as we can to the agencies. So as a result, we have very few staff. As you know, we only have a staff of 5, including myself. And for every $50 we can save, it's a subsidized trip for somebody to go to dialysis treatments in London. Or, for every $3.50 we save administratively, it's an extra meal, subsidized Meals on Wheel for somebody. And that's really what our focus is, not providing direct services ourselves, but funding them.
Yeah, well, and that's it's all about the money at the end of the day. It's kind of like oxygen, you need it to live, right? Right. But the money that the United Way brings in and supports how many services again? And
30, well, we have 36 regularly funded programs, but we also do our venture grant funding, whereby we will fund a program for 1 year. They could reapply for up to 2 more years to a maximum of $30,000. And we just 2 weeks ago announced that we're funding the Rapids Family Health Team for a memory clinic. And they're doing that in conjunction with the Sarnia Lambton Alzheimer's Society. And it's geared to help people who are showing signs of memory loss to start doing exercises and different games or whatnot that's going to slow down dementia as much as possible. And I think almost every doctor in the community has access to this program. We're funding a Train the Trainers program, so it'll be self-sustaining. And I think that's a terrific program that we're funding. Just prior to that, we announced our second year funding for cadets in rural Lambton. So now these young men and women in rural Lambton can join cadets, learn skills, learn a number of things, including problem-solving skills, anger management skills, and the importance of an education. And they too have had some great success. So when you add those programs, in addition to those 36, we're closer to 40 or 42 programs in service, actually.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the process of somebody receiving funding from the United Way. And I know there's quite a process involved.
Right.
I think there should be, because everybody wants money, so you don't just hand it out. You've got,
right,
I guess, mandates and qualifications that would happen. So I wake up tomorrow, I've got an organization, and I want some money from United Way. Where do I start?
Well, if it's less than 30,000, will be the request for a year, and you meet. The number one criteria is you have to provide a program that's either keeping kids in school or out of conflict with the law. It has to be to keep families together, either emotionally or physically, or it has to be designed to keep seniors safe, healthy, and in their own homes for as long as possible. So assuming your program has one of those 3 outcomes, you can then apply for our venture grant funding. It takes typically 60 days. You can apply year-round. There's no deadline for that. You first contact Pamela from our office. There's an online form to fill out. And she'll work you through that form. But what we want to see what measures. How are we going to know at the end of the term if that program was successful or not? How many people are still in school, or are they doing better in school, or how many people are able to stay at home? We want to know those kinds of key performance indicators. So then if that meets the committee, and Pam works with 8 or 10 people on a committee. We call it the Community Investment Committee, because we're investing community's dollars into community programs and services. And if they approve it, and then it goes to our board of directors, which is another group of 15 local volunteer board members who make the final decision. Now, if you wanted long-term ongoing funding, like our Meals on Wheels, like our transportation services and so on, you have to apply at the beginning of our 3-year funding cycle. Now, your listeners probably know that we fund those 18 agencies on a 3-year funding term. So they don't have to spend all their time every year worrying about their United Way funding. Instead, they can do long-range planning and spend more time providing service and not agency worrying about their funding. However, they do have quarterly reports to fill out. And again, that's identifying that our contributions, our money is going where it should to what programs that we're funding, but also the key performance indicators are what we expect. And that's about a year-long process to start that. So that process actually starts in our final year. And so everybody who is getting funding now are notified. We also put out an open call for tenders. So anybody in the community with a charitable registration number and a local board of directors can apply for funding for their program. And we picked up 2 agencies this year for the first time. The John Howard Society for their adult and youth self-referral program. These programs are not for people who are court appointed or judge appointed to be there. They're people who wake up in the morning or the teacher says, you know what, you need to change your life. You need to turn your life around, but you're going to need some supports. The John Howard Society is there to do that, and with our funding. The other new program is a respite program through the Lambton County Developmental Services, or LCDS, and they're headquartered in Petrolia. And the respite program is, imagine, David, if you have a loved one who has special needs, who requires a lot of around-the-clock care, you can bring your loved one to the respite program on Saturdays in Petrolia, and they have a couple of other locations, and you can get your things done. You know, you can get your work around the house or your appointments done, grocery shopping, or just relax and take a breath while you know your loved one is being professionally cared for and having a lot of fun doing activities. So those are our 2 brand new agencies. And of course, the new program that we're doing this year is that expansion for the Meals on Wheels in rural Lambton. Previously, for many, many years, we funded subsidized Meals on Wheels in the city of Sarnia through the Red Cross. April 1st, for the first time, we're funding subsidized Meals on Wheels in rural Lambton through LEO or through Leo. And I know since then, David, the need for those meals has gone up by 31% since then. So that's telling us that we're putting the money where it needs to be. So we are truly keeping them healthy. Well, we know, not to be too long-winded, but we know that those who get the Red Cross Meals on Wheels, 87% of those seniors and people with disabilities report overall better emotional and physical health because they're getting these hot, nutritious meals as many as 5 times a week.
Well, there's a lot going on there, that's for sure. And that's no wonder that you need your needs target to be met. What about, here's an example. Is there a service for, one of the things I noticed, like my mother's in a nursing home, right? Mm-hmm. As many parents are, but I'm here in town with her. But there's a lot of folks in that situation where their kids aren't here locally.
Right.
They don't have any family, and they're living in another province or city. And it's yes. I know my mother calls me and says, "David, I need mouthwash and denture glue. Bring that to me." Right? Yeah. So I can do that, but not everybody has that luxury. Is there services through the United Way as well that are providing that type of thing?
Absolutely. And I know exactly what you're saying. I get phone calls from my mom wondering what her Netflix password is. So you're right. I mean, and that's a growing issue in our community where there's a lot of seniors, widows or widowers who do live alone, and their adult children have had to leave for jobs, or their spouses had to leave for jobs. So not only is our community aging faster than the provincial and Canadian average, we're also seeing more and more seniors with no adult children in the area. And there are a number of programs. A first couple that come to mind is the Friendly Visiting Program we fund through the VON, through the Victorian Order of Nurses. It's kind of like a Big Brother program, only it's for seniors. It's people who will visit for 3 or 4 hours a week in the senior's home and just visit, talk about politics, talk about Netflix, talk about whatever they like. And it really is friendly visiting. And it's not only for singles. I've met a couple of people who their spouse needs it. And so while the friendly visiting is there, the spouse is able to get to Life Labs or grocery stores and just to get a bit of a respite there as well. We also have the Tel Check through the Family Counseling Center.
Great program. Amazing.
Super program. It's for people who, there's two aspects of the program. One is if you're going through a rough time and you just need somebody to talk to. Maybe you're lonely. Maybe you're contemplating suicide. Maybe generally you just need somebody to talk to and somebody to listen. You've got the distress line phone call. But those volunteers are also available to do tel check. And so if you're out of town, you could sign up your mom or your dad or both, and a volunteer will call them up once a day and just ask them how they are. Did you remember to take your meds today? How are you feeling? And it's just that friendly voice at the end of the phone who has a chance to talk. And so there's a couple of programs right there that are geared for those folks that helps improve the quality of their life. It's a double check program to make sure that they are in fact okay and they've taken their meds. And it reduces isolation, particularly if they live out in the county. Where they may not see people from day. Maybe the only person they see is the person delivering the Meals on Wheels.
Yeah, it's kind of scary when you think about it, right? Because I use my mother as an example, and I think about, my sister, she's in Byron, which just down by London Way,
right?
But we all have lives and we have our own families, and we have to prioritize sometimes. I mean, sometimes we feel guilty about it,
right?
Which is a normal thing, right? I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say exactly where I live, but Mom's just down the street. I drive by her every day, so she knows there's no reason for me to not stop and help her. But
right,
even just that, I remember when she was in Petrolia.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that far from us. It's 20 minutes, but it's really an hour-ish by the time you go out there, do what you have to do. So, and not to sound that I don't love my mother, but
right.
It's these services are in place to help out there too, and it's nice that
absolutely.
I guess by doing this for United Way too, and I know the radio station helps out a lot too. It's people really need to understand just what the United Way is all about.
Right.
And
that's right.
The hard work that goes in from you and your team, total of 5 there, and let's give credit to the board of directors as well, because and we've got some more time here, Dave, if you like. The tough decisions that are made sometimes, because not everybody who applies gets approved, kind of thing.
Right.
There's only so much of the pie to go around, I guess.
Yep.
And
that's right.
You have to, I'm sure, as United Way, pardon me, and this isn't just Dave making these decisions. You really have to prioritize the effect, and then you're not here to maintain, though, are you? Like you have to see a production come out of it.
That's right. We're not just, it's that old, you can give a man a fish and he eats for the day, or teach him to fish and he eats forever. We've all heard that little saying, and that's what we're trying to do with our youth programs. If they can keep kids in school to graduate, they're that much more likely to get jobs. And they're that much more likely to learn decision-making skills and coping mechanisms or whatnot if they're in school than if they dropped out or failed out or whatnot. And so we're trying to give them the tools and the skills that they need to become regular members of society. And by keeping them in school and giving them the supports that they might need, maybe they have, they come from an economically disadvantaged family, and they need a couple extra supports. Maybe mom and dad are working 2 or 3 part-time jobs, so they need some of that homework help. Maybe they're new to our community, new to our country, and the kids need a little extra homework help. So very much, we're not just feeding the person for the day. We're trying to give people the tools that they need to continue in society. Same thing with seniors. Obviously, we're not going to retrain them for jobs, but we know that they're in fixed incomes. And if we can assist a little bit with the nutritious Meals on Wheel that meets their dietary needs, instead of chips or cake or whatever they happen to get that's in their cupboard, so that they don't have to stand. Because maybe some seniors can't stand with their feet. They can't prepare their own meals, or maybe they forget to shut the stove off, or that kind of thing. So let's give them the meals that they need to stay in their home where they want to be, and where as taxpayers we want them to be, and let's help out with the affordable housing crisis that way. Maybe if we can provide transportation to get them back and forth to their Life Labs appointments, so they can get their sugar tested on a regular basis, and whatever else, get them to their doctors, to specialist appointments on time. we're just giving them so much that they can stay in their own homes, and can be independent.
Yeah. Well, and it's a hard thing to give up to when you become a senior, depending on your health, to when you've been, well, hey, I'm a pretty active guy. I'm always doing something. It'll be hard for me to slow down someday because my body says I can't.
Right.
Whatever reasons, right? So,
yeah.
And the mental health side of things there that I know United Way supports a lot of that in different aspects. That's it. Well, TellCheck's a really good example. I've spoken to the people down there, the Family Counseling Center, and the TellCheck people are just incredible. And they're not just taking any volunteers. There's training that goes on, and
very much
process and confidentiality, all that stuff. And it's, just bringing anybody off the street to have those conversations. But that conversation has saved lives.
Yes.
It's got to be really comforting, I guess, is maybe the word for you and your staff. And I know most of your staff are very sincere about their jobs and their duties there at the United Way. It must be comforting, or rewarding maybe is a better word, to see the results that you and your team have been able to happen just through Sarnia Lambton United Way.
Absolutely. And rewarding, I think, is a better word. Comforting. We're not too comfortable right now with the campaign running around and have 43%, but we certainly are rewarded. And you're right. I'm in a fortunate position where I get out of the office a lot. I get to go to a lot of the agencies and see firsthand the people who are being helped. And because people know me, they come up to me and they tell me. I used to get, and Meals on Wheels isn't just for seniors. You could be somebody in your 40s, and because of an accident, you're laid up for a couple months and you need Meals on Wheels. So I've run into people who that sort of thing has happened. Hey, I used to get Meals on Wheels a couple of years ago, and it got me back on my feet, and I'm in great shape. Or I used to be a little brother, and now I'm working at Imperial, or now I'm doing this or that. And then you see people, you go to the ABI, New Beginning Stroke Recovery, and you talk about, your body might decide doesn't want to do things. I met two people who were in their 20s who had strokes and are living alone. But it's the stroke recovery that's helped them regain some of their mobility. They're meeting friends and people who have the exact same challenges they do. While they're there, they're getting a good meal while they're doing some exercises. And just to talk to some of these people and to hear their story and to hear their journey. And I mean, every one of the programs and services has got people that you can sit down and talk to. And it is very rewarding, and it's very motivating as well.
Motivating, yes. Well, that's always good as well too, and you really do a great job, Dave. You and your staff there. Like I say, I get to see a little behind the scenes sometimes, and I notice what you're up to. Day of Caring is one of those days where another great example. I know that was just passed in September, but it was a couple of years ago. I was out and about and saw the volunteers, actually take the day off work to go and participate. Something like this.
225 were involved in this year's Day of Caring. And you're right. They could be painting, they could be cleaning, decluttering, cleaning eave troughs, any number of things. And in addition to that, we also have some businesses and some organizations that will phone us in February. So we want to do a Day of Caring day for Volunteer Week in March, or next week, can you set something up? And Pam from our staff has a list of people who do need that ongoing help and maybe can't even afford the subsidized rate that Leo or that the Habitat for Humanity charges, which are very affordable. But some people can't. And so we keep a list of those folks. And we do Day of Caring at other times of the year too. But really, it's the big kickoff. And your viewers might be interested to know, not every United Way does a Day of Caring. A lot of United Ways either don't do a Day of Caring, or as part of their campaign kickoff, they'll have a community breakfast or a community barbecue or lunch. We've always felt, hey, let's show people where their dollars are being used, and let's get them introduced to some of those people who do get services. When you're dealing with Cancer Society and heart and stroke, everybody knows somebody who's had cancer. Everybody knows somebody who's had a stroke. Nobody's had a United Way disease. So we try to put a face to the United Way, and it might be the senior who lives down the street, or it might be the stroke survivor who lives uptown, but it's real people right here in our community. And so the Day of Caring does that as well.
Yeah, and I've heard some of the stories that come out of that. My husband used to do that gardening, or my husband used to do the cleaning the eaves troughs, and so it's an emotional day as well too. And well, congratulations on all the success, and I hope we can grow into the United Way and keep the campaign on track. Absolutely. And hopefully you hit the meet needs target. What's it called again?
Yeah. Our $1.9 million needs target.
Needs target.
Yep.
I knew what I meant. 1.9 million. I know you'll get there. You got a lot of hard work, great staff behind you. Dave, thank you for coming on early. And it was great that we had some extended time here today.
Yeah, I'm always open to that. I love telling the United Way story, and thank you for your personal support too. I know you're a big believer in our community and through the United Way, so we very much appreciate all of your help.
That's my pleasure, Dave. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I will. You as well.
Our friend Dave Brown from the United Way, and lots of ways to, let me just show you a bunch of different ways that you can reach out to them. They're all over social media. Of course, there's their website, theunitedway.on.ca. And Dave's very commonly on Twitter. You can find him out there as well. And, of course, Facebook. And there's a phone number on your screen as well if you want to reach out and call Dave or talk to anybody at the office. I know they'll be happy to answer all your questions. And you can also, there's different ways for you to be donating to the United Way. In fact, they a payroll deduction program that if maybe you wanted to talk to the place of business that you work and see if you could get involved with that, that's just one of the several ways that you can support the United Way. All right, we're going to move on. I got my next guest. I think she's ready here. She's Sarnia Lambton Rebound is celebrating 35 years, and we're going to bring on, I think she's ready. Here we go. Give me a thumbs up there. Here we go. It has been a technological day for people. Carrie McEachran from Sarnia Lambton Rebound. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
You're welcome. This has got to be exciting. Celebrating 35 years of Sarnia Lambton Rebound.
35 years of supporting children in the community. So it is very exciting.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I always like to clear up about Sarnia Lambton Rebound, I think there's still a bit of a perception out there. I think you'll agree. You probably know where I'm going with this, that it has to be a bad youth that got into trouble that goes to Sarnia Lambton Rebound. That's not true.
That is not true at all. In fact, we believe that there's not one bad youth out there. There may be some youth making bad choices, and coming into Rebound, utilizing our programs will help give them those skills and look at why they're making those choices.
Right. And how many different programs is Sarnia Lambton Rebound offering?
We have 19 different programs. So we've come a long way from one program in the basement of a church to 18 programs.
Yeah. I'm getting a little bit of an echo there from you. Do you have your Facebook page open? If you have the Facebook open, you might want to close that.
Oh, I do. That's no problem. Okay.
All right, it's a little better. So, yeah, can you give us a little bit of background? I mean, I understand the story, but maybe for those who are watching, that just how this all got started.
Sure. So, 3 people in our community back in 1984. We have a police officer, a teacher, and a parent. All got together and talked about ways they can keep kids out of the court system, the justice system. So they created this little program in the basement of a church with 7 kids. They always tell the story about the very first day this program ran. the 7 youth that were part of the program went out for a cigarette break and didn't come back that day. So we've come a long way from that little program in the basement of a church, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And how long have you been involved, Carrie?
I have been at Rebound for just over 3 years.
Sorry, just over how many?
3 years.
Oh, 3 years. Okay. Yeah. Well, and even in that time, you've seen some growth. I mean, let's talk about the Sarnia Lambton Rebound Rocks. That's a fantastic program for youth, and music. What a great way to connect and communicate with each other. It's a worldwide language, music, right?
Absolutely.
And I remember going in there the first time. Actually, I saw that was announced, and I went in, and I think there was like maybe 4 or 5 young folk up on stage playing. And they had never met each other. They didn't have a clue who each other was. And they were just having a good old time up there jamming and getting to know each other and sharing. And now there's we've seen Rebound Rocks perform at Blue Water Border Fest. That's amazing.
Yeah, they're all over the place doing their gigs. They've come a long way since that first day. They opened this past Friday at the Chamber of Commerce OBA Awards.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
Yeah, they did an amazing job.
And how was that night for you?
It was great. We had a really successful night. We actually won the Not-for-Profit of the Year award.
Congratulations on that.
Very exciting. There was a list of some pretty amazing organizations there. So it would have been nice for all of us to get an award.
Sure. I hear you. But it's nice to win, too.
Well, it is, a little bit.
We'll talk about what's happening with this 35th anniversary celebration, and you're kind of looking out to the community for some response for this.
We are. So November 2nd, we're having an open house here at Rebound from 1 to 4. And we're really hoping to get people that have been involved with Rebound in the past to share their stories with us. We love hearing the success stories from adults that have been through our program. Or programs, and hearing where they are now and how it impacted their lives. So we are asking for people to send us their stories, tag us in social media, hashtag part of my story, I believe it is, or just come to Rebound on November 2nd and see us and hear your story then.
And have you received any response yet, or are you sort of just getting this out there now, right? But are you seeing a response already?
Not yet, but we have just started promoting it, so we're really hoping.
So how do they? So if I had a story I wanted to give back to Rebound and say, hey, I'm doing this wonderful thing now, and part of it's thanks to Rebound for being in my life. How do people reach out to you for that?
So they can give us a call, give Rebound a call. They can email us their story. They can even do a video of their story. We're hoping to compile these for our anniversary.
Right. And so will these be all presented at the anniversary celebration then? Is that the idea?
That's the idea. But certainly if people come that day and share their stories, we'll take them.
Right.
And it's not just youth.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's not just youth that have been through the programs. It's any past volunteers, board members, staff, anyone that's been part of the Rebound programs.
Right. What about parents whose children went through a Rebound program? But if I had a child that went through, and I wanted to speak or somebody on behalf of how Rebound helped my child, is that something you'd be looking for too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we hear stories from parents all the time.
Yeah. It's got to be, well, you saw me just talking with Dave Brown from United Way there, and we were talking about being rewarding. I mean, I know quite a bit of your staff down there at Sarnia Lambton Rebound, and they all seem to really want to be there. They all seem to really care about what they're doing. And I'm a full believer in the word impact, right? And 35 years for an organization to survive, even just the financial woes that come along with that, has got to be rewarding to you and all the current and previous staff that have been there as well.
Oh, absolutely. Every day there's something to be thankful for around here. And we have a pretty amazing team. We call ourselves Team Awesome, actually.
Team Awesome.
There's not one person that works here that isn't here for the right reasons. So
that's good. How does somebody, so Sarnia Lambton Rebound's got all these services, and how does youth get into the program? If I'm a parent, do I say, hey, listen, I'm having trouble with my kid, or I don't know what to do, or does it have to be referred, or what's the process in getting some help from Sarnia Lambton Rebound?
So we take referrals from anyone. A parent can call. We've had youth call us to refer themselves. We even had a scenario where a sister referred her younger brother recently.
My younger naughty brother needs to go there.
That's right. It's just a matter of giving us a call, and we have an intake person that would talk to that parent, talk to that youth, talk to that professional, and would refer the youth to the right program.
Right. Okay. So it's an open door, really, then, right?
We don't turn any youth away.
Right. Now, what about, does it ever occur, because we've got a lot of, as you said yourself, we've got a lot of fantastic organizations that support in the community, including youth. Is there ever a time that somebody comes to you and it's like, we don't quite handle that, but we could refer you to somebody else? Is there cross collaboration happening between the organizations here in our community?
Absolutely. Lots of cross collaboration between all of us. So quite often, a youth might present here with a challenge that maybe is out of our realm, and that's when we will personally do a referral to St. Clair Child and Youth or Pathways or whatever organization would best meet their needs.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk money for a moment, shall we?
Sorry, Alexa Prize is not available in your locale.
Oh, Alexa's talking. Let me shut her up. There we go.
Siri.
Our technical world has not been working out well today. But let's talk money. Does Rebound receive funding from the government at all?
We receive some funding from the government. So a few of our programs are funded by the Ministry of Community and Children's Services. We also are very lucky to receive funding from United Way. So you had David on here a little while ago. They do some amazing things in the community.
Yeah.
So we get funded by United Way for 3 of our programs as well. But rest of it is fundraising and grant writing. Right.
So election years are very interesting for organizations like yourself. Today might have some impact on funding. Is that right, or is it pretty standard through?
It could. A lot of, actually, all of our government money comes from the ministry, so it's provincial.
Okay.
But certainly, who knows what could happen?
Right. Who knows?
Yep. Every day's a new day.
I see our friend Andrew Thomas is out there. Let's want to give Rebound money. Maybe. I've never tried that. Hey, Alexa, do you want to give me money? I don't know.
That would be nice.
It would. Well, congratulations on 35 years. And I know you've got a great staff down there that works very hard and very active in the community. You see Rebound here, you see Rebound there. And I can tell you, I know some folks who've been involved with the program and come out with very positive results. So it's definitely having an impact on our community, but we need to keep the impact rolling for you, right? So let's get the stories into there as well. I'm running out of time here, but is there anything else that you want to add before I let you go, Carrie?
I don't think so.
Perfect.
Nope. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome back anytime. And shout out to Anita for setting this all up, and our friend Andrew, of course, there as well, and your staff for all the great hard work that you guys do. And we'll look forward to, I'm going to do my best to try to get down there, actually, from some point and make an appearance and see how things are going down there. So I wish you all the best of success and congratulations on 35 years.
Great. Thanks, David.
You're welcome. Take care. And Carrie McEachran from Sarnia Lambton Rebound. They do have a great impact here on our community, and they're celebrating 35 years. And if you've ever been a part of Rebound, whether you were through any of the programs, you were a volunteer, former staff, maybe you were a parent of somebody, they want your stories. So reach out to Sarnia Lambton Rebound. We will post all the links and information to our guests here after the show on our Facebook page, so you'll be able to reach out to them. You can just Google it too, right? That's quick. And maybe make some time and go down, see what Rebound's all about, and visit them to celebrate 35 years of success on Saturday, November the 2nd from 1 to 4 p.m. That's at 10 Lorne Crescent, just at the corner of Wellington and Indian there. And again, thanks to my friend Carrie for joining us here. All right, I got to make sure. We did miss one of our guests today. I guess that was part of the technical reason, but we will look at having him back at some point. But let me see if I can just pull it up here, what we were going to talk about. There it is. The Accessibility Summit is coming to Sarnia, and it's going to be happening on October the 29th. And March of Dimes is going to be there. And it's going to be at the Lambton College Event Center from 9 till 1:30 p.m. I'll be the MC for that afternoon as well. So I'm looking forward to learning more about all the different accessibility options that are available here in Sarnia. Dale Mosley will reschedule with him, but we did just want to share this real quickly with you as well. So don't worry, Dale. We'll get you back up here. All right, I got to make sure that I did everything. Wow, what a day on the show with technical stuff. Even Alexa was trying to get in the picture. We're almost there. Oh, yes. Okay. Well, before we go, I do want to take a mention and say thank you to some of our supporters. Thanks to our friends, AG Event Graphics. You can follow them online at askguy.ca, and they do banners and big car wraps and truck wraps and you name it. If that's printing that needs to be done somehow, you can go online to askguy.ca, and thanks to them for all of their support. And we also want to say thank you to one of our newest supporters, Joe's Discount Tire, for supporting us here on the show and at our Sarnia Sting games. Also, shout out to Oswald's Diner. And, of course, pardon me, Christine down at Active Ears Hearing here in Sarnia. Wow. I made it through. I think I'm done. Have you had enough of me? Because I've had enough of me. That's all the time I got for you this week, everybody. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time, hopefully, right here on the show. Bye for now.